What is happening, everybody? Josh here from Spawn Fly Fish, and today we are tying up a little attractor, damsel, baitfish pattern, whatever you want to call it. Not my pattern. Todd Moen from Catch Magazine needed a few of these ASAP, and we are going to get it on the vise for him right away. Alrighty, in the vise we have an Ahrex NS115 streamer hook in a size 6. To get things started here, we're going to lay down some thread wraps, but before we do so, we are going to reiterate that this is not our pattern, simply recreating a couple pictures that our good friend Todd sent us. So if this is your pattern out there and I don't give it a name, I'm sorry, I did not receive a name. But we're going to get after it nonetheless. We're going to tie it up to the best of my abilities and showcase just what he needs to catch fish with Catch Magazine. So, little play there. Alright, first thing we're going to do is we're going to add some lead eyes here. On his pattern, they do have them on the top of the shank of the hook here. So we're going to throw in some medium heavy dumbbell eyes in the green and black. I specifically wanted this color, little figure eights, lock that down, make sure it's not going anywhere. And we're going to build up a little bit of a nose on this, just to give it a little bit of an ease in the profile here. This is going to be a little bit different style here. So we're basically done with that front section. We will not be bringing the thread back to it. So keep that in mind there. Get this profile the way you want it to right now, because we will, again, not be finishing the fly there. Alright, bring the thread back. Next thing we're going to do here is we're going to take some Krystal Flash. And this is the mixed color. This is a pretty cool, very popular product that we have here at Spawn. If you haven't used this color of Krystal Flash, highly recommend adding it to your tying station and some of your patterns, because it is very, very cool. Alright, we're going to throw that on there and leave that there for 1 second. Now we're going to work our thread back up to just behind the eye, and we're going to take some olive Marabou. This is the extra select. You do want the extra select, or if you are having some standard Marabou blood quill, make sure you get these long fibers, because we're going to have these go backwards here the length of the fly, and we want these to really stick out. Alright, a couple wraps there, and use a bit of saliva and slick that back. If you got some water, great. If not, your saliva will do just fine. Alright, we're going to close that all up here. And don't go too far over the curve of the hook, because we're going to want these materials to go straight back and kind of flow as they ripple in the water there as you're stripping this in. Alright, now we have all of our Krystal Flash here. We're going to bring this together, and touching wraps, we're going to wrap this. As you see, it wants to separate a little bit. Don't let it separate too much, but you do want some coverage. So we are making the underbody of this fly really sparkly. We're going to get right into behind those eyes as tight as we can, and then we're going to work it back. We're creating a little bit of a taper here, as you can see. Where it becomes important that these fibers kind of stick together is this finished part right here. We're going to want them to stay on top. I'm sure there's a trick to it, but I'm not there to show it to you today, unfortunately. But that's what you want. Finished product looks good. So a couple wraps behind it here to really solidify it, and then a couple more wraps in front of it. We're going to trim this off. We're going to just give it a little bit. We don't want it to go the full length of this, so you can bring these back to see here how much you want. We just want these to be a little bit of a tractor underneath. So we're going to go about a hook's length, like so. So far, so good. We're almost done with this fly. Really easy little pattern. Now we're going to bring that marabou back over the top. Loose wrap just to kind of solidify it. Get one more, and then we'll just kind of check. We want to be on top of the fly here, on even distribution on both sides. As you can see, did a decent job there. We're going to throw another wrap in. Got 4 in there, pretty good right there. And now we are going to finish this fly. So, oops, I need to lock that vise in before it slips away. Sorry about that. Got carried away showing you guys. Alright, so we're using a whip finish tool here, but we're just going to do 1/2 inch at a time here. It's a lot easier than trying to whip around this. You can get an extended whip finisher and it'll work pretty good. But this will do the trick here. And just make sure you line it up. You don't want this black to show like crazy. In the pattern that photos I received, they did use a black thread. I have tied some of these up in using olive, like so, where you can't see it as much. But wanted to be true to the pattern that I received, so black thread it is. Alright, that's going to be good there. Not really going to go anywhere. And then we will come in with some head cement. I'm just going to do a quick little check. So far, so good. Again, really simple pattern, really quick to tie, and apparently works extremely well. I did receive quite a few pictures of this exact pattern in some giant rainbows mouths. So we're going to get these out. We're going to do a little head cement here. Be mindful when you're adding the head cement to the back section not to get it all over the marabou. Do not want that. You could also use a little bit of resin here. If you have a small little brush or a small applicator, that would work too. So just be very mindful here as you finish this fly. And I got a big glob of it there, but that's okay. Go in just really lightly here. We don't want this to fall apart. It's going to get chewed on. And this will soak through and really solidify it. Oops. 1/2 inch came undone. But that's okay. Sweet, there it is. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Easy to tie. Apparently works very good in Alaska. Add this to your box if you're headed up there, and look for it on a soon to be released episode of Catch Magazine.